What's up, everyone? Mike Lovins here, back for more Lovin' Stereo. You know, it's often been said that music is the soundtrack to our lives, and I believe that 100%. I can hear a song and instantly be transported back to when and where I first heard it. So it's no surprise that some of my favorite music comes from the soundtracks of the movies that I love. Those songs give me the same feels that the movies themselves do. I thought for this video, I'd tell you all a little bit about some of my favorite soundtracks. I purposely stayed away from scores and from soundtracks that are really just compilations of classic songs like Guardians of the Galaxy, Dazed and Confused, or The Big Chill. I also left out soundtracks that double as a full album for a particular artist, like Purple Rain or Batman from Prince, or This Is Spinal Tap by Spinal Tap. So here we go, and in no particular order. The first soundtrack I ever owned was Ghostbusters in 1984, and even though there were a lot of fun songs on there, it was actually the second soundtrack that I owned that holds a special place in my heart. That's 1985's Back to the Future. Like many other people my age, I fell in love with Huey Lewis and the News thanks to this record. Huey had two great tracks on there, Power of Love and Back in Time. I actually recall performing Back in Time in a church lip sync contest around the time this came out. That should have been a hint that I wanted to be a performer, or that I wanted to do drag.
The time has come to lip sync for your life.
I feel the need for Top Gun. I can put this 1987 classic on anytime and listen all the way through every time. Kenny Loggins had two blistering tracks on this record, but he wasn't the only one that had a soaring hit. I'm guessing there were many babies born in 1988 thanks to Berlin's Take My Breath Away. Another soundtrack that I really love to sink my teeth into is The Lost Boys. It had a couple cool tracks from In Excess, as well as Echo and the Moneymen covering the Doors song People Are Strange, and Roger Daltrey covering Elton John's Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. But the standout tracks are Lou Graham's Lost in the Shadows and Gerard McMahon's seductive song Cry Little Sister. Next up is what I might call the guilty pleasure of my list. Many folks would call the Grease soundtrack a classic, and I'd agree, but I am also immensely fond of the music from Grease 2. Michelle Pfeiffer's Cool Rider is a song that I still keep in rotation. Pfeiffer went on to prove that she's more than a one-note singer when she starred and sang in the movie The Fabulous Baker Boys. These next three to me are just great representations of what the music in the 90s was like. The Crow, Singles, and Beautiful Girls are really equally impressive and classics in their own right. The Crow gave us haunting music from The Cure and Stone Temple Pilots. Singles highlighted Seattle's best with Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam, and others. And along with songs from Kiss and Neil Diamond, Beautiful Girls had two songs from Cincinnati's Afghan Whigs and a track from Columbus's own Hal and Maggie. Two other soundtracks that in my head seem to complement each other are Heavy Metal from 1981 and Wayne's World from 1992. Both feature a mix of metal and pop, and both have a Black Sabbath song featuring the late great Ronnie James Dio on vocals. This next one has The Touch, and it's the soundtrack to Transformers the movie, the 1986 animated movie. And I remember having a dubbed version of this on cassette, and I wore it out. Eventually I got it on CD, and then I got the anniversary edition CD, and then I got the reissued vinyl version. You could say that I really enjoy this record. The last one I want to talk about is Less Than Zero. This edgy Bret Easton Ellis movie was highlighted by a mix of glam rock, heavy metal, rap, and Roy Orbison singing a song he co-wrote with Glenn Danzig. Glenn himself also appears on the album, actually doing the title song to the movie. Highlights from the soundtrack include Slayer covering Iron Butterfly's In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, and the Bangles covering Simon and Garfunkel's Hazy Shade of Winter. So that's it for me. What are some of your favorite soundtracks? I'd love to hear from you. go ahead and leave me a message in the comments, and maybe I'll even respond. So until next time, keep rocking.